Good morning, it's Thursday. Today you have a travel vlog, meaning we're gonna travel. Now where do we go? We go to Belgium because this weekend it's time for the photo days. And I will be on the Sony booth all weekend giving demos with Nadine and Anna-Week, of course. Well, Anna-Week won't be the model, Nadine will, but you know what I mean, right? Okay, now don't get me wrong, I absolutely love trade shows. The meeting up with you guys and everything else, but the thing that I don't like about trade shows is actually the heat. And well, on most trade shows in the States, for example, there's air conditioning. In Europe they don't, so it can get very hot on the trade show floors. So I'm actually wearing t-shirts with short sleeves. Yeah. Okay, because of the upcoming professional imaging, we got a huge Tethertool order in, and this is only part. The rest they already packed out, and Anna-Week is now actually working on the lists. We got something other cool stuff in, and this is actually for me personal and for the studio. Not really personal, because before you get the wrong idea, but it's also for a personal use. I'm just gonna show you. So we got this really cheap, actually my parents found it. And these things are always cool because you can actually practice your lighting on this. And well, if you're just starting out with photography, I can highly recommend getting one of these. And they're called mannequins. And it's a great tool to learn lighting and shadows and everything else. Okay, so what is the personal use? The personal use is actually not that exciting. You know that I love Batman, right? And we recently did a photo shoot with the Batman and Harley Quinn costumes. And we were actually able to keep those. So we're gonna put them on the mannequins and I'll just put them somewhere like real-time big action figures. So that's the personal use. Just wanted to clear that up. Okay, now before we leave, I actually have to do some stuff, and that's something that sometimes a little bit wonders me and maybe even frustrates me. So yesterday evening I got an email from a printer and they needed an image for an upcoming concert, and that's no problem of course, but they need it today because there's a deadline. Now how stuff works, and there's never a deadline like, okay, tomorrow we have to deliver the piece. So if you are in the marketing department of your company and you need photographs, please ask the photographer in advance, because it's really frustrating to get like, okay, but we have to have the image before tomorrow 12 o'clock. So it's now around 9:30 and luckily we only leave at 1. So I still have time to find the image they want and send it to them. But man, that's a tight schedule. So gonna do that, and I'm going to empty my hard drive with all the behind the closed doors and all the other stuff, because that really had to be done before, but no time. Okay, having a proper backup system on the road is incredibly important, but how do you keep track of all those files? For example, I'm using a MacBook Pro for video, I'm using the Wacom Mobile Studio Pro for all my photography. How do I get all those files in sync and on my computer? Because with digital files, if you lose something, it's gone forever. So, I can talk about it, but let me explain in a different way. Okay, as mentioned, I'm using two machines on the road. The first one is my MacBook Pro for video and the vlog, of course. And we use the Wacom Mobile Studio. Okay, on all these machines, I have one folder called, in this case, a video and photography. Now within these folders, of course, there's several subfolders. Now every evening when I'm done with retouching the video and retouching all the images, there will be one external drive. That external drive will have all the files from video and from photography. So that will be on one drive. Now if I want to make sure that everything's there, I will actually right click and do info and just compare the size of those two. Now on the MacBook Pro you can, for example, use Carbon Copy Cloner. And on the Mac I use something called Free File Sync, which works pretty well. Now as soon as I'm in the studio, this hard drive will be connected to my PC And on that PC we'll actually first copy everything to the Drobo, and the Drobo will be backed up to our Synology. As soon as I've checked this with that, I'm sure that that's fine, and then I will copy it to the Synology. As soon as this is done, only then I can delete this, and only then I will delete these two. Trust me, if you're used to this way of working, it's very easy, it's very fast, and you won't lose any file. Okay, let's get everything in the bag for Belgium. Okay, one of my favorite Sigma lenses, actually the 12-24 for those really extreme wide angle shots. Sony A7R II, and the almost standard lens for me, the 24-70. G Master, of course. Always cool to play with a Lens Baby 85. If we're doing 3 demos a day, it's always nice to get a little bit more options in lenses, because you want to be a little bit more creative. You don't want to repeat the same thing over and over again. So I always bring some play lenses like the Lens Baby, and I'm actually also going to bring a 50mm Leica R lens. It's a really old lens, but it shows that you can do anything on the Sony with converters. So that's why I love that camera. And the 50mm Leica R lens with converter. Really like this lens, gives you a great bokeh out of focus areas, and it's razor sharp. And it just gives you a different look to the images. Really love this lens, great lens. And it's not that expensive as the Leica M lenses, which I actually am not able to afford, but this one is pretty affordable. My favorite bag for traveling, the Low Pro. And it has plenty of room for everything. Don't forget the light meter. Joby for my iPhone, 16mm vlogging lens, quick release for the gimbal, color checker, and of course the Tethertools cable. That's what's in the bag in the studio. Now let's go home and pick up the final pieces. Okay, I'm home. We're actually gonna bring this bag with all the dongles for a week. And yes, there it is, the Mavic Pro. The dashcam, my MacBook, the Wacom Mobile Studio Pro, the gimbal, extra hard drive, the stand for my iPad Pro, I'm going to explain that in a moment, the power bricks, and of course the pen for the Wacom. Now the iPad Pro is a different story. The iPad Pro I use as a second monitor via Duet. So when I'm editing video I have a little bit of extra space. Okay, so about the Mavic. Now why did I get the Mavic? Well, very simple. We travel around a lot and I love drone shots. It's, I think, awesome. You get this really nice extra dimension to your vlog. And in all honesty, the Unique is a great camera, it's a great drone, but it's a little bit big, and I was always terrified because after about 400 meters you get a little bit of a video glitch, and yeah, call me paranoid, I'm always afraid that the thing will fall out of the air, which of course never ever happened, but it's still something that worries me. Now with the Mavic Pro you don't have that problem. We actually already flew it about 800 meters far and it's still got great video. And let's be honest, you just fold it open like this, and you have a full-blown drone. And we actually already flew it with high wind and it performed flawlessly. So yeah, this is absolutely the drone that I love at the moment. So Mavic Pro, finally got it. And of course, look at the remote control. Now these two together, so the remote control and the Mavic, is actually around the same space as my old remote control for the Unique. This is the major selling point. So here we have my bag and here we have the Mavic. It just fits. And we even have room for the remote control here. So yeah, I can never ever fit a Unique or a Phantom or whatever in this bag. Well, because it fits so easily in the bag, you don't have to think about, should I bring a drone, yes or no? Oh, and don't forget this one, the case relay from Tethertools. Really great, because when you do time lapses, the battery of the Sony will run down very, very quickly. Now, if we have a nice view from the hotel, it's of course great to set up a camera at night, let it run all night, and then in the morning get a nice sunrise or whatever, maybe a street where there's a lot of traffic going on. Now, how do you connect it? You actually put this in your battery part of your camera, and it's powered by USB. So you can use, for example, a Hyperjuice, Or for example, the power brick from the Mavic also has USB ports. So it's a really easy solution, or of course a power bank. Quick in-between tip, always check if you have cards in, for example, the drone, because I actually didn't. So we're gonna put this card in, and then we don't have the problem that we're in the air and we don't have any shots. Yeah, also happened to me before. So now I always check. Almost ready to leave, and look who arrived. And she's actually a birthday girl today. So happy birthday, Nadine, from all our viewers and me.
Hooray!
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 Let's go. Arrivé, or in other words, we arrived at the Expo Brussels, and we're now gonna go inside and check the booth. Gonna bring some stuff in already, so we don't have to drag that around tomorrow. Walking on the correct color. No photography for photo days. Curious. Are closed, so let's try other ones. Trying to go around. Okay, these are also closed, so it's not going well. Calling our contact to make sure that we are in the right spot. Been unsuccessful. Gonna go back to the car, find parking A, because all the doors to 4 are closed. We can see 4, but we can't get in. Succeeded after having an argument with one of the guards because we didn't have a pass. Yeah, how do you get a pass if the pass is on the booth? So he let us hold up all traffic, and finally after 5 minutes our pass came and we could go on. So unbelievable. And they refused to speak English or Dutch. So yeah, je ne parle pas français. No. Okay, arrived at the booth. We're gonna give the demos here in this shooting area. And here we have, they're still building up everything, so it's still very, very busy. And look at this on the Letco booth. We know that image, right? Yep. And here we have the booth from Vivocolor, and look at this. Also one of my images, and one of the Kelby 1 classes. That's awesome. Ooh, popcorn. Yes. Popcorn is pretty healthy, I tell myself. Oh yeah, drones. I had this beautiful shot in mind of the building with the drone, the Mavic, and I just heard that Belgium law prohibits the use of drones. You can fly 10 meters high, but you have to be in private grounds, and this is not a private ground. So private means, of course, you own the ground. So, sorry guys, no Mavic shots of the building. No. Okay, the gear for tomorrow, we're going to shoot with Pro Photos. So we're going to have a small strip light, a very cute beauty dish. They're going to grab a grid. So we're going to have 2 controllers because Allengram is in my light meter. So we're actually going to use 2 controllers, one to trigger the strobes for the light meter. And we have B2s. We're not going to shoot ETTL, but just manual. And we have the heads. There we go. Nice and small. Okay, so that's the gear for tomorrow. It's now back to the hotel, have some dinner, and then tomorrow, first day of photo days. And you're studying the map so you don't get lost. arrived in the hotel and we're actually going out for dinner now because it's Nadine's birthday. And by the way, I don't think we're going to do any interesting time lapses because the view, it's not a room with a view, let's put it that way. Looks pretty nice. So we're going to set up here tonight for editing. There's the birthday girl waiting for us. Happy birthday. I think they're gonna eat here with chopsticks in the ninja house. Hoi! Oh, Brussels waffles. That's better. Okay, there's an expo from Steve McCurry. Of course you know him from the Afghan Girl. Okay, TV recordings or whatever. Oh, closed. But we know there's one more further up the street. Our hotel, or at least the back of it. That was an absolutely awesome restaurant. So that was a great birthday for Nadine. We're now in the hotel room. We're gonna edit this episode of Behind the Closed Doors, and tomorrow we have the first day of photo days in Brussels. Now what am I gonna do? Well, I think we start out with a seminar and then 3 demos and then at night an inspirational talk for Sony. Very busy schedule, so I don't know if I can edit an episode tomorrow, but otherwise you get 2 episodes the day after. So if you like what we do, please subscribe to our channel, leave comments below, that really helps us out. And of course, see you next time. Bye guys.
Bye.
That's it.